is not just a reminder, this is not a lecture, this is a study. As it is a study, we should make questions, we should participate, because that is the best way to really understand, to minimize our doubts, and perhaps help anyone else that's in this room. We have stopped where is highlighted here last Saturday. So I will not make any comment here about what we read before. I understand that not everyone was here last time, and that's a routine. But I also understand that we all have access to that very same book, so we can always refer to what is there. And if you do have any doubt about what has been said in the previous encounter, there is no issue. You can also ask about what we have spoken and perhaps not very clear. Well, let's start. Finally, explain. Let me say something before that. I used to do two types of study. One, that I used to read what I'm going to read before. So like that, I feel more prepared. And the other way I used to do is that I decide not to read at all. It's like I'm reading for the first time the book again. I think both ways are positive. But lately, I'm kind of allowing me not to read the book before my studies. And with that, I'm finding things as we go along, things that I haven't paid attention before, and it happens when we are together. What is the benefit of it? Learning something unexpected. And I can guarantee you that every time we read the same book again and again and again, we always find something different. So I'm going to do some trials with you guys. Like today, I haven't read what I'm going to read here now. And let's see if our intuition will work in our favor. Kind of, oh, what this word means, what this sentence means. And I also would like you guys to do the same, right? When I'm reading something that you have like a blimp, just let us know. Let's share our thoughts. Let's share our intuitions, our experiences, okay? So here we go. Finally explain that demons are merely the souls of evil individuals who have not yet purified themselves, but who, like all others, may finally reach the state of purity, and such will seem more in harmony with the justice and benevolence of God than the doctrine of beings who were created for evil and who are irrevocably doomed to it. Once more, therein lies what most demanding reason, the most rigorous logic and common sense can accept. Let me stop here first. It is widely considered that demons exist. Are they different than us? Do they exist? No, they don't. They don't exist, and they are not different than us. They are spirits, exactly like we are. Let me give you an example. When we are really, really irritated with something, we are out of the normal. Is there a different thing inside you? No, it's not. It's you. This is a side of the coin that we all have. And those that we used to say they are demons, basically they have more weight in one side of the coin than the other. But the coin is the same. We are all spirits. And when we are, oh, the devil, the demon, they are all spirits like us. And I can guarantee that we all here, through our past experiences, we did something, actually we did many things that we could compare ourselves with demons. Because understanding the reincarnation, that we have multiple lives, if we were on the Stone Age, on the Bronze Age, what do you think we did? We did things we would regret today. And that's normal. It's part of evolution. So we all are exactly the same. Sometimes I hear a lot of people coming to us, well, I have an obsession and there is a devil around me, there's a demon following me. Sometimes this obsession is not real. It's something inside our heads, sometimes. But if it's true, you're talking about a spirit. You're not talking about anything else. It's not a magic force. It's not a miraculous being. No, it is one spirit. As we have seen, the souls that populate space are more precisely what we call spirits. Kardec made a difference between spirits and soul. So when we are incarnated, sometimes he called it soul. But there is no difference between what we are, our spirit, incarnated and discarnated. It's exactly the same. The only difference is that when we are incarnated, we have a kind of buffer. But we are spirits. Exactly the same. Saying that, why should I be afraid about spirits that are discarnated if they are exactly like me? If they are exactly like me, if they are irritated, why I call them demons? If they are suffering, if they do not understand the same things we do, why we are afraid about them? We have no reason to be afraid about them. On the other hand, we should be more charitable with them. Look them with the eyes that they need help. They deserve help and our assistance if we can. And if I may, over the years, how many came to us in the mediumship meeting doing things and speaking things that, kind of scary. After a period of time, they changed. And many of them work with us today. They understood, they realized, they were prepared to change. Like we all here. If anyone is perfect in this room, raise your hand. No one is. They are not either. So it's part of evolution. It's part of the learning process. And if we do have someone willing to help us, we'll learn faster. We'll change our beliefs, and we may change who we are. It's exactly the same with the spirits. So no reason to be afraid of. Why I'm saying about that quite a lot already? Because a lot of people that decide to join mediumship studies, mediums book studies, because they are afraid. They see things they don't understand. They feel things they don't want to feel. But the majority of the cases, the reason for that is fear of the unknown. But once again, there is no reason to fear. They are exactly like we are. All right. So, hands. Someone raise the hand. Yeah, open the mic, please. Go on.
It's Christine here from Australia.
Hi, Christine.
Hi. You mentioned that we might be scared, or we don't understand what's going on, or we don't know. Sometimes we might think that, but also it could be that we're wanting to help and we're looking for help so that we can help others. And I'll give you an example. When my father was passing, he wasn't disincarnated, he was on his way. He called me into the room and asked me to shut the door without anybody else present and said, "You're the only one who I think will understand. I'm afraid." And this is my father. I'm learning as I'm going along, and I'm saying to him, "What are you afraid of?" And we never had a discussion about what was in the Bible, but my father said to me, "I have read the Bible back to front, and I didn't believe in any of it. But now I'm dying, I'm scared." And this is a man that went to war for Australia and never admitted to being scared before. And to be saying that to his daughter or his child, I thought was a big thing. And I said, "What are you afraid of?" And he said, "Because I'm going to hell." I don't know. And we've talked about demons, and you've explained what you mean when it says in the Spirits book, the Mediumship book about demons. The only thing I could say to my father was, "You're not going to go to hell. I believe in reincarnation. I believe things happen for a reason. And I believe that when you go, you don't need to be afraid." And that made him feel more comfortable in what he was experiencing.
Well, I think we have quite a lot of things there we can talk, right? Let me start. Oh, hi, Charles, you there? Go on. Your chance, Charles.
Hello, Guilherme. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. I think what Christine just told is exactly the purpose why Kardec wrote this text, because we have been so long received and formatted with these notions of heaven, of hell, of evil, and so on. And he is just unformatting this, putting it in a different way, because this heaven, this hell story and the evil and so on was only the trick from the traditional religious movements to make the people afraid and to have them under control and to have them doing what they want to do. And with Kardec, the things is completely changing now. We are free and we do because we understand. So, and if we do good, it's because we understand why it's good, why it is in the interest of everything, ours and of the others, to do good. So he is really insisting because at that time, the people were severely influenced by all these notions, which are basically not true. And Christine expressed it very well. So his father was afraid of going to hell and things like that. And this is exactly how these old traditional religions were working. And today, so this text, this introduction, this first section of the Spirit's book, of the Medium's book, sorry, is exactly to remove this concern from us and to induce us to think about what makes sense and what does not make sense.
Very good, very good. Well, let me start saying one thing. We can only help people if we are prepared to help, right? when we have any problem, and when we broke a leg, for example, where do we go to get assistance? To the shopping mall or to the hospital? We go to the hospital because they are prepared to help us. In the spiritual matters are exactly the same. If we are not prepared, we should not endeavor to do things we are not prepared to. But we all can be prepared. We all can learn. We all can be acquainted with this level of information and steps. Quite often, when people ask for our help, we never bother to think about it until it comes. Some people are more like spiritualized than others, but even those that believe, sometimes they are not prepared because they never had the opportunity to be prepared, or they never exposed themselves to the information or to the practices that would allow you to be more comfortable to help. You said something about someone, your father, that never was scared of anything. But at that time, he felt scared. It's normal. If we believe or if we don't believe in God, in life after death, inside ourselves, we know that the death could not be the end. The reasoning that we all have showed to us that cannot be it. Something must remain. I'm not just a body. I'm not just a chemical reaction. I'm something else. Something must exist. And then at that moment in time, you start to make an analysis of what you heard when you were a kid, like the Bible, like anything else, to try to give you hope. Because we don't want to finish. I don't. It's pretty sad if we, after any amount of years, in that particular day, that's it. I don't exist anymore. But inside ourselves, we know there is something else. And at that moment, we try to find reasoning to give us that confidence that I will exist after my death. That's very common. Like Charles said, those ideas from past religions, past time, the hell and heaven, may be misinterpreted. Because if we are good people, we go to areas where will be more people like us, vibrating in the same level. If we decide to do wrong things, the opposite is the same. It will happen as well. But nothing is permanent. You can change, even after death. So the idea that's eternal hell does not exist. Does not exist. But we can make our arrival on the other end easier if we do what has to be done now. If we change ourselves, if we decide to do good, if we help other people. But we all have the right to decide which way we will continue our lives, and that's entirely up to us. Oh, hi, Munir, I see your hand, sorry.
Hi, Guilherme, hi, everyone. No, I just want to say to Christine, because perhaps some people, they during their lives, they know they have things that are not very clear within themselves. And when they get to this point that they know it's the end of a period, there is the uncertainty of what is coming, and the person is uncomfortable with a few things that he or she did in his her life, and what to expect. then the person will take the picture that is closest to him or to her, and it is this idea of hell. But it's a way of saying my conscience is uncomfortable with a few things that I did in my life. So it's a way of saying I'm going to hell. That means, you know, I'm not, my mind is not completely at rest, saying, oh, there's nothing in my life that, you know, I should rethink, or, and that's why it's so important to, you know, what Kardec did in terms of just dismantling this hell, this idea of hell, eternal punishment, and just saying, well, just be comfortable. You have the opportunity to analyze what you did and then make the amendments that are necessary. So it's so comforting for some people when they know that. But most people, when they realize, oh, I don't believe in hell, you know, throughout their whole life, but they get to that point, they say, well, I'm taking with me a few things that are not very comfortable. I'm not very comfortable with them. So when they say I'm going to hell, it means, you know, I have certain things that I regret. I wish I had done them differently, whatever. And I mean, it's not a point where, you know, you believe or not believe. It's a way of your conscience telling you, you know, you take some things that need to be sorted out within yourself. I mean, that's the way I see when, you know, people sometimes they just ignore their conscience. They don't believe in anything. But then when they get to this point, which is a very special moment, their conscience is there. So when we hear you be judged, judgment day and so on, that means our conscience is with us all the time, always giving us an idea where we failed, where we didn't, you know, that our strong points, our weak points. And sometimes we just take this picture, oh, I'm going to hell, because, you know, I know that a few things I wish I had done them differently.
Hi, Liliana. See your hand.
Hi. Well, it looks to me that this mediumistic mediumship and mediumistic ability or idea of being a medium, it rather helps us than those in need, because it helps us to be a better person and to become our better version. But I have a question. Why would the spirits in need choose to ask us, the humans, being a medium, actually, for help, and not asking the spirits around them? Because in my mind, they will understand better than they will understand with us. I, as a starting medium, I might not understand them perfect, but another spirit could resonate with them better. It's a question I have, and I still didn't find out the answer.
Mm-hmm. That's a very common question.
Yes, I know.
The difference is we have fluids, we have the matter. Under the spiritual world, the matter they have is different, it's light. Some of the spirits, after the person dies, the spirit will not be able to see, to listen, nor even to recognize the new world, because they are so dense. Their level of vibration is so low, they can only perceive and understand what comes from us. So they may have a lot of spirits around them, but because they are in different levels of vibration, the information don't come across. So they need to receive the information for the same level or close to where they are, to be able to receive the information, to receive the message. After a period of time, when we are treating a spirit through the mediumship meetings, their vibrations start to increase. So increase, come to a range where they start to listen and be able to interact better with the spirits from the spiritual world. But as some cases require a heavier, let's say, a thicker level of vibration, they need us. That's the difference, right? They are spirits. Nevertheless, as we choose, as we want to be, when we die, our vibration will be exactly what we chose to be. And sometimes what we are is so far away from a higher level that we need an assistance on earth, let's say like that.
Okay, thank you.
Would that make sense for you?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Hi, MUNIR.
Hi, Guilherme. I just want to make a very simple and perhaps even naive comparison. But when we were kids and we go to a different place and we learn something new, that sort of it's completely new for us, and we get in doubt about that. What do? We go back home and we want to hear the opinion of our father, mother, for us to trust. So if they say, yes, it is like that, yes, oh, you can do that, it's safe, no problem. It's the same with the spirits. Some of them, they are in a state that the spiritual world for them is something completely unexpected, completely different. They don't know exactly what is going on. So they have to receive, as Guilherme said, this impression from the material level, from the medium with the denser fluids and everything in the physical world. So when they perceive that, yes, we got the confirmation from the material world, the mediums in the person who's talking to me is saying the same thing. So, okay, yes, oh, it is like that. And it's easier then. It's a kind of an impression that is more, or words that are more accepted by them than just from someone they never saw before in a different condition. The spirits, they get sort of confused.
I still have a question. Sorry.
Is that okay, Leon?
Can I speak? Can I speak? I still have a question. The
Sure.
spirits that are coming for our help, are the spirits we know, or can they be unknown spirits and just happen to be on our frequency? And
Two things. First of all, the spirits that are coming to ask to our help, they don't need to be in our frequency. There's no such a thing. Okay? They need help. And they find institutions and people that are willing to help, regardless their frequency, regardless the level of evolution. Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm kind of very evolved myself because I'm giving messages from the mentors, from the benefactors. No. Oh, I'm a very bad person because I only give messages from spirits that are very in need. I'm probably a very bad person. No, that's not true. That's not true. A medium is a medium. It's just a channel. And when we go to the mediumship meetings, the aim, the principal aim of the mediumship meetings is to receive suffering spirits. Is not to receive mentors, benefactors, nice messages. No. The medium exists to help. Of course, sometimes we have as well messages from the benefactors. That's positive. But a mediumship meeting is not for that. If we have a mediumship meeting where only benefactors coming to give nice messages, there's no reason behind that meeting. When we define a mediumship meeting, the goal is to give support, to help those that are in need. Anything else is just a misunderstanding from the group. The goal of a mediumship meeting must be help those that are in need. Giving you an example, an institution, there were probably like almost 100 years now, if I'm not wrong. During their existence, the group of mediums they had, for some reason that I'm not here to judge, they only received nice messages from the benefactors. the institution decide to stop the meeting. They stop the meeting altogether because the meeting is not for that. The meeting is to give assistance to those in need, right? So that's the first point. And I forgot the second point, Agnes. You said about that.
And if they are known people or unknown?
Oh, yes, known people. It's very, very rare to receive one spirit that we know. Normally, let's put it this way. We are in a meeting. My son has arrived, asking for help. I will react as a father, as a mother, as a son. Can I help? Maybe. But the emotion will be so high that possibly I will not be able to help. So most of the time, they will find assistance in another institution, not where I am. Because most of the time, despite that I'm prepared, despite that I may have all their needs to help, the time they come, I will forget everything. I will be the father again. And they will lose an opportunity to be assisted. So it does exist, it happens, but it's very rare. So the spirits that are coming through our exercises, through our mediumship meetings, the great majority, we don't know who they are. And it's better like that.
That's
because
exactly
remember
how I felt.
Exactly. Remember what Jesus said. Help those in need. You don't even know who they are. Okay?
Yeah.
So now,
Thank you.
who's that? Munir has the rank.
I just want to add something very quickly. We should see the medium, the work that the mediums do, helping assisting needy spirits, as if we were giving the first aid and worked in coordination with a big hospital. What you do, you receive all sorts of people, and because a medical doctor receives only poor people, you can't say that he's a worse doctor than the same doctor giving the same assistance to rich people. It's not the type of spirits who come to us that we tell how good a medium we are. It's just our moral level. And mediums of high level, they give assistance to all level of needy spirits. And what we do, we just receive them, give them the first aid, and then the spirits will take and carry on the work. We could see ourselves as assisting them in the streets and putting them in an ambulance, giving the first aid, taking them to a highly specialized hospital. That's basically what mediums and the group actually does when they do assistance.
Something came to my mind, Munir, when we were talking, that I heard over the years. Which is the best medium? Who is the best medium? How can I become a better medium? The best medium is the medium that study and help in the best of his ability the majority of those that come asking for help. And the best medium does not help only those that are discarnated. He helps as well those that are incarnated. But in a scale of things, the best mediums I know from books, from presentations, from lectures, they are the most simple ones. They don't try to put themselves on the spotlight. They don't charge anything. By the way, mediumship and the Spiritism with Jesus, there's no relation with money at all. We give for free what we receive for free. And the best medium ever are the ones that are very simple, very humble. But on the other hand, they study a lot. They are prepared to help any time in the day. I knew some people that even when they were almost dying, where people coming to them asking for a healing. And with difficulty, the person stand his hand and did what she did for over 70 years. Not on spotlight, not in front of hundreds of people. Because sometimes we messed up that concept that the best medium is the one that goes on the internet, that one that goes on massive lectures and things like that. The best medium is the one that can produce more. When I'm talking about produce, is to help more. I thought it was nice to say that. So, may I continue? Yeah, okay. Hence, spirits are merely human souls that have been freed from the corporeal envelope. We spoke about that here. There's no difference, right? If spiritists were created as separate beings, their existence would be more hypothetical. So, do you think we exist or we don't exist? However, in accepting the existence of souls, we must therefore accept the existence of spirits, who are nothing more than souls. In my personal opinion, Kardec, he has split it between souls and spirits, because at that time in the 1800s, people had been formatted so much into the souls, into the, how he could explain about the spirits in the body if everyone else would believe only in souls. But he slowly brought to our knowledge, as he's saying here, souls are spirits. We call a different name. Nevertheless, it's exactly the same thing, okay? And if we accept the fact that the souls are everywhere, we must equally accept the fact that spirits are too. Do you believe spirits are everywhere? Do you? Because you are spirits. So at least in your house where you are right now, we have at least one spirit, that's you. But I'm also confident to say that you are not alone just now. Because every time when we gather together to study something, spirits that are our friends and spirits that are in need to listen to what we are listening and studying, they also come together. So very unlikely you are by yourself just now. Very unlikely. Thus, we cannot deny the existence of spirits without denying the existence of soul. I think that there's no argument here. Not for me, at least. If you want to ask anything, if you want to make a comment, anyone, please feel free to do so. Okay? Moving to the item. What time is it? Charles? Hi, Charles.
Yes, just quickly, I mean, this difference between soul and spirit is a little bit, it's not a very simple subject. It's linked to what is the definition, what is the meaning of souls and spirit, esprit and âme in French. And it could be the same things, but Kardec is using it in a little bit different meaning. And the key to understand it is in the Spirit's book is when he asks what is a soul, the answer of the Spirit is it's an incarnated spirit. So this is exactly using the definition that Kardec is using. Basically, a soul is an individuality, and the spirit is like the material principle, there is a spiritual principle. And what we call spirits around you, we use more the word spirit for the spirits which are in the spiritual world. Whilst when we tell Paris has 10 million of souls, inhabitants, this means that these are incarnated. So when he says we cannot accept the fact that soul, or to say, we cannot deny spirit without denying the existence of souls, it comes to the fact that what is important in all this is the individuality. So Charles will be Charles, or maybe Charles plus what he has been in the past lives. The same for you, Guilherme, the same for Liliana, and so on. So this is really designing the individuality. It's not when we die that we change the individuality. It has a broader view, a wider view, but we still remain with the same intellectual, moral evolution than what we were still incarnated. So it's a little bit complicated subject, but the easiest way to understand is soul is more designing the individuality, and esprit is more designing the spiritual principle. But in fact, the difference is very subtle, because a spirit has an individuality, so we can call also soul. That's why he says it's we have to say, generally when we don't enter in these type of details, we can say it's the same thing.
It is, isn't it? So is everybody okay with that information? Anyone want to make any question?
And maybe just to complement, Kardec here is insisting exactly that the spirits are not separate creature or whatsoever. It's us. We. This is what is important to understand, with all the qualities, all the defects. And of course, there are spirits which are not needing to incarnate on Earth anymore, which are very highly elevated. So this is what is important to retain from this. I mean, the spirits has a very clear definition, that it is the souls which were incarnated and which are today in the spiritual world, and nothing special, angels or whatsoever, as we were used to be told and to be taught. This does not make sense, as it would be a separate creation, and I would be the first one raising my hand. Why is this angel created perfect by God and not me? Why I'm not being created perfect? So in order to conciliate all this with God's infinite justice, the Spiritist philosophy is really teaching, okay, all started from the same starting base, simple and without knowledge, and all will evolve as per their own efforts, quicker or slower depending on the effort, to the level of evolution of pure spirits. And that is then totally in line with this God infinite justice.
Hi, Christine, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that spells it out very clear for me. I had an experience, and it seems to fit with what we've talked about so far. And that is, I was walking down the road, I was going for a walk, and I was myself. And then all of a sudden, I was a man in his, well, I was dressed like I was in 1940s, a jacket and pants and a hat. But it lasted only a second. I've never forgotten it. And I only mentioned it to another group I'm in, which is the talking about the Spirits book. And I just look at the sentence that we've just talked about. We cannot deny the existence of spirits without denying the existence of souls. So I guess if there's any comments around that, is it a spirit that is a lower level spirit that needs the assistance of, and when I say the assistance or to let them know they're there in some form, the assistance of an incarnate to help them. I don't understand that when that happened. If I was being asked to do something, to say something, and so that's why I'm bringing it up now with people that understand perhaps why that happened.
Well, let me start. Let me see what time is it, so see how much I can talk. Well, let's start first, right? It's highly recommended that when we see something that we don't understand, that we don't think straight away, this is in a spirit and this is for a spiritual world. Myself, every time I have an A experience, I try to eliminate every other possibility first, okay? Just an example, using what you said, Christine. I may had a costume party happening in my neighborhood, and I saw someone with a different costume. I'm not saying that was the case, not at all, just using it as an example to people to understand, okay? Well, though there is no party around me, there's no customs party around me, right? So that was eliminated. So we need first to eliminate every possibility before we say, yeah, this is a spirit, there is a spiritist manifestation. When we pass that phase, we need to understand that if I see a spirit, it doesn't mean that he's in need, doesn't mean that he's evolved, or it does not mean that he's also a suffering spirit. It doesn't. Because we are surrounded by a tremendous amount of spirits in many different levels. When we see that, when we talk about mediums that have the ability to see spirits, right? They see good things and they see bad things. So he could see anyone, basically, depending on the range of the vibration he can capture. But if I have two different mediums that can see side by side, one medium may see one spirit, the second medium may see another spirit. That's why sometimes we have a misunderstanding, well, but I haven't seen anything, so I'm crazy then. No, not at all. You have the ability, let's say like that, to see a range of spirits at that moment, at that day. And the other person may have a different one. Coming back to the main core of your question, that is what they are here, what they need help. We don't know. We simply don't know. We need to analyze case by case. Sometimes it takes years to identify who they are, who they really are. When I mean years, I'm talking about years, because they have the same abilities like we do. We can't pretend to be what we are not. We can lie to ourselves and to the others around us. And sometimes take years to identify those that we thought were our friends and they are not. Same thing happens on the spiritual world. When we see a spirit, when we sense a spirit, the most important is not to try to identify who they are, if they are nice spirits, bad spirits. Doesn't make any difference for you. But what you can and should do, make a prayer, wishing him all the best, wishing him to continue in his work, if he's there to help, if he's there to work, or wishing that he is able to find the light, what a lot of people say. Hoping that he can find peace in his heart and perhaps even move a step forward in his evolution. Spiritism is something that's not casting stone. The variety is so great that we have to study, to analyze, to give time sometimes is very important. Give it time to see if what even the spirit is saying he's doing, because as incarnated spirits that we are, sometimes we speak out loud a lot of things, and at the end of the day, we don't do anything. We say, we are going to do good, we're going to do this, we're going to help, we're going to blah, blah, blah. On the end of the day, I'm keep watching Netflix all day because it's much easier, and I'm not doing anything. And then when I encounter the same person again, I will lie again, say, yes, I was doing good here, there, everywhere, and I was not moving a finger. So time, patience, study once more, and do what we can do. What we all can do is to make a prayer. Doesn't cost anything, and will help if they are in need or if they are there to help even us. Doesn't cost anything. I saw a hand raised, but I didn't see who was there. Oh, hi. You are on mute. You have to unmute your mic.
Right, hi. In relation to Christine's question, there are also times when we can also slip temporarily into different realities. And it could be that what happened to her for that split second was that she was actually in a different reality, and maybe it could have been herself in a different incarnation, and it was a lesson or an experience or an information for her. I know myself that my mother has been in different realities just driving along the road. She turned a bend and saw a queue of cars, and they were all black T-Fords. And this was 10 years ago. And she waited in the queue even. So yeah, we can have this split reality, and it's likely that this is likely to happen more often nowadays too.
In the Spiritism, we don't see that as a slip of reality. No, we see that as we have the ability to see things. And at that time, I was seeing things that are not in my, how can I say, in my reality, if you want to use the reality word. I was seeing things in a different reality, not that I jumped in a different reality. I was able to see things from a different perspective. And there are mediums, rare mediums, that can even leave their bodies and go to different places.
Yeah.
But if I'm driving a car, that's not going to happen. If I'm walking, very unlikely. Normally it happens when I'm in the stages of calm down, when I'm resting on something like that. Because imagine if you are driving a car and then your spirit just go away. What's going to happen to you?
Yeah, that would be very dangerous. It wouldn't be allowed or recommended. It's like saying don't do meditation while you were driving. But my mother definitely experienced, you know, it was a time shift, you know, as we know, there is no time. It's like past, present, everything is simultaneous. And these things, you know, we have actually experienced, or two people sitting in the same kitchen, somebody comes into the room, one notices that person and the other doesn't. In the same time zone. Yeah. So these phenomena that are all part, yeah, these are phenomena that are all part of our environment, shall we say.
He or she was not seeing a different time in age. I don't think so. Past, present, and future. That's a line of event. They are not happening all at the same time. We can have glances of the past. We can have glances of the future. But time is continuous. They are not in parallel. So we have to be careful with the way we see, the way we believe things. On the Spiritism, what I can tell you is that we have the ability to see things. It's not because I've seen someone with a cloth that is from the 1800s means that I'm just jump from now to 1800s. That's not it. But the spirits, they may be yet rigid at that time in age, and they will wear exactly what they were at that time. And when we see them differently. And they can create around themselves their own reality. And we are able to see their reality depending on some particular mediumships. But it's not like we are jumping into it. I don't believe so. But as ever, depending on our backgrounds, we see things that fit in what we believe. We see things in a way that we were used to. And here, I will try, if I may, to bring to you all what the Spiritism understand, what the Spiritism sees, okay? Oh, I saw, just a minute.
3 minutes to go,
message.
Guilherme.
Yeah, I see that. Times go by very quick. I would like to stay longer, but I have another commitment after that. So
We can
we'll
hold the
stop
question
here.
for next week.
Yeah, if anyone wants to have any other question, please send on the group and let's discuss that next week, because today, that's it. So saying that, let us elevate our thoughts, our hearts,